Everybody's making these earrings, and I'm so excited to have a canvas for my veneers. So I'm working more with the idea of making slabs, and I decided to make these tiny flower clusters because of the countless ways to mix and match. Here's one style flower that I just love. You take a blend, it's been cut and stacked up, and form it into a circle. The white, it's very important for these particular patterns for the white to be on the edges. So I'm smearing down the white. 5 little circles around the center, and I've got me a flower. As I often mention, it's important to practice those packing triangles. I don't have very much translucent around this. Just a very, very thin amount. Here's another style. This style puts a little line or dot in the center of the flower. The other one was a circle at first. This one, I'm squishing the sides together and bringing them around so that the white comes all the way around the circle. Whereas the other one, the white just made the outline of the flower. This one, the white comes all the way around the petals. Same thing. If you make a ton of that triangle, you can use it to pack several different flowers. This is a technique I haven't seen before. These are fun petals. Basically, they're half circles of any stripes, although again, the lightest color should be on the outside for these types of patterns. And then kind of like a little windmill style. Tuck those half circles in and then draw them all together. Kind of like that new style. Pack in the background. Now we have 3 flowers all the same color, but different enough that they add fun variation. This I usually do in white. This one's a light purple, but I usually do it in white. This is my favorite. These make the cutest little flowers. I will show you what I do with those later. Okay, here's the leaves. Pinch the edges of the leaves and bring them together. These are kind of a rounded leaf. In this case, I slice it into 5. I think the other example is 7 or even 9. But here's just, really love that pattern. You could stop at 3. There's another one in the PDF that has a 3 flower, a 3 petal. More of that pinched triangle packing. And I use this teeny tiny. Okay, back to the flower. This is what I've done for all the flower clusters. I love this trick for any time you want something graduated, is you just roll it big to little and cut it into as many sections as you'd like. So these, the translucent is so squishy, I'm just putting little tiny logs in between. I'm not worrying about triangles, just tiny little logs, and I have a cluster of flowers. Then this is the part that would seem tricky. You can reduce it. Even in this interesting flower cluster, it's a strange shape, but it can be reduced. Let it set, especially if you use Primo White Translucent and it's so squishy. And there's little tiny flower blossoms. Here I've used nothing but white on a dark background. And now I'll show you how to use it with the other flowers. I really like using a blended background. You could use any kind of background, dark, light, or striped. So here are some of my clusters, all made the way that I just made that white flower cluster. I've got, now I layer them slice them and squish them as thin as possible, and then layer them. This one I decided to try to layer in kind of a striped pattern, but they could be layered any way you want. I could also at this point put larger flowers. And now for cutting them out. So those are monochromatic. If I want to do one with all the colors are in the PDF. Here's the thing is I can keep running this through the pasta machine. It was at a medium setting, and then I covered it in canes, and then I put it through at the medium setting again. If I stretch it one way, I can get it big enough to fit the what are those, cookie cutters. It didn't quite fit, so I'm putting more backing, going to run it through the pasta machine again, and then it will be big enough to fit.